video, I thought I would give you guys a makeup tutorial on my go-to makeup. This is the makeup that I wear if I know I'm gonna go out, if I know I'm gonna go and take pictures. And I also thought I would make this my first video because literally everybody's always asking me for a makeup tutorial, always asking me what I use, what foundation I'm wearing, what lashes I'm wearing. Just to make it simple, I'm gonna give you a quick little tutorial. So first, I just like to put my hair up. So you can just get these from Amazon. This one's so cute. It came in a pack of 3. It was like this one, a pink one, and a gray one. Little panda ears. I also have those like creaseless clips that you can just put in your hair to pull your hair back if you already have your hair done, so you don't have to mess anything up. And I got those from Amazon too. I'll link them in the description. First, I begin with a moisturizer. I'm going to use this Jelly Pop moisturizer, and this one's from e.l.f. I actually just got it not too long ago. And this is definitely a beginner moisturizer because it's not heavy. It's really light on your skin, and you could just tell it's like kind of watery just by the way it moves, and it also kind of leaves your skin feeling a little bit tacky, which is perfect because the primer I'm going to go in with is the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. I've had this for so long, I'm only halfway done with it. So I just put 1 pump of that, and I like to put this mostly in my T-zone areas, right here and right here, but I also like to dab it on the outsides of my face because that's where all my foundation is going to stick to, mainly right here because that's where I have some like acne scarring. So that's like what I'm trying to cover up, you know. First, I'll rub it in and then I'll tap it just to really get into all the pores. This leaves your skin feeling super tacky, just like the moisturizer, but a lot more tacky. So it's perfect for foundation. Next, I like to go in with my beauty blender. This e.l.f. like the purple one. Personally, I like to clean mine every single time before I use it if I have time. If I don't have time, then I'll just wet it under water. But if I have time, I will clean it. I usually just use like the bar soap. I'll rub it under water and then squeeze the excess out, and that works just fine. Next, I go in with this Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter Foundation. And this is the one that's literally all over TikTok. Everybody's using it now, and I've had this bottle for so freaking long. It's actually my older sister's and I stole it from her, and she still doesn't know to this day, so she will not know unless she watches this video. I like to just apply it everywhere because this is not a foundation, this is a primer. It's just to give you a nice glow for your foundation to sit on top of. I have oily skin, so I usually steer away from like glowy products, but I feel like this just doesn't make my skin oily. It just makes it more skin-like and more glowy, but like from the inside, not super metallic, not super glittery. For foundation, I'm going in with the Fenty Pro Filter Soft Matte Foundation, and I just like to dot it on my cheeks, on my forehead, on my chin, and then I'll just like scrape the rest everywhere else. I usually only do 1 pump, but today I'm doing 2 pumps because I'm gonna be taking pictures, so I kind of want it to be a little bit more full coverage. This foundation does oxidize though, which means that it gets darker over time, like as it sits on your skin. So I like to rub it down my neck. You can see how it turns like a little bit more orange. So I just rub it down my neck. And then once I have concealer and powder over it, you wouldn't even notice the difference. And this foundation lasts me all freaking day. And another foundation that also lasts a really long time is the Maybelline Superstay or the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte. I think, no. The one that's in it has like a red cap. That one lasts so long. Definitely if you don't want to spend as much money on the Fenty one, because this one's like $30 something, you can definitely go for the L'Oreal one or the Maybelline one. Those are around like $12. So next I go in with 2 concealers. I like to use the ColourPop Pretty Fresh concealer, and then in a lighter shade I'll go in with the Milani Concealing Perfect. This ColourPop one is a lot more hydrating and a lot thinner, I guess. It's definitely like a more malleable formula, where you can keep it on for a while. So I put this in the inside right here, and then I do a line right outside of my under eye. And then I'll do on my forehead a stripe right here and right here. And then I'll go in with the Milani one. I don't blend it out yet because I find that if I blend this out and then I go on top with this concealer, it can get kind of creasy and like kind of patchy. But if I blend both of them together, it blends a lot more seamlessly. So I just put a line right under my eye, only in the inner corner. I don't put it out here because I feel like I don't want to waste product like that. It's just too much brightness for me. And then I just put a dot and a dot and a dot, just because I want those areas to be more bright. And you can also put a stripe down your nose if you would like, but I personally don't like putting too much product on my nose because it can definitely get like kind of cakey. And I like to blend out this area first. I'll go in with my forehead first, and then I'll go with my chin. So then while I'm blending this out, my under eyes can sort of dry up a little bit. If you leave your concealer under your eyes for a little bit longer, like a minute and a half, then the concealer gets more full coverage the longer you wait. Unless you're using like Tarte Shape Tape, for example, leave that on for a while, it can dry and then it'll be harder to blend. But if you have a concealer like this one's perfect, this one's more hydrating, then you can leave it on for a while before you blend it out and you won't have to worry about it blending out super harshly. So you can see how much brighter my under eye looks right here compared to right here. And sometimes if it's too bright, I'll take it down right here by my cheek area to make it more seamless. And then I'll put the excess on my eyelid so everything looks a little bit balanced, just to cancel out all the discoloration on my eyelid. And I know it looks crazy and super bright, but it'll all balance out. Then for my bronzer, I like to go in with my cream products first. So first I'll use this Kaja, what even is it? It's Kaja bronzer stamp, and this is in the shade Toasty. I like this because you can just open this top off, and then this part right here opens into a stamp. This is what I like to use. Is it the best? No, probably not, but it's all I have. I know the Charlotte Tilbury one, the beauty wand, is really good. It's also really expensive, so that's why I just like to stick with this one. So I'll just stamp it right here, stamp it right here. I like to go in an upward motion. I don't like to go to the down here. I go more up here, just to give my face a more lifted effect. And then I'll go all around the perimeter of my forehead, but I do not like to go right here because that's where I like to apply my blush. And I like to just stamp it. First I'll start at the top, and you can see it's like literally already blended out with just a few like taps. This one blends out really nice, and you also don't need to feel rushed when you're using it, because I know a lot of cream products you can leave them on and then they'll dry up as soon as you apply them, but this one, it blends out super easy. And this is honestly pretty light. I don't like to go too dark because I don't want it to be too harsh and too overwhelming. So yeah, I just like to tap, tap, tap. Never swipe when you're using cream bronzer because that can make it look really patchy. Still have your foundation underneath because you haven't set it with powder yet. And then for the forehead, go in upward motions, kind of like you're gonna blend it into your hairline. And I especially like to put focus right here on the temples of my face, right here and right here. That's gonna be where you really want that lifted effect. And then next for cream blush, I just recently started using this. It's the Rare Beauty Melting Blush in the shade Nearly Berry. So stunning. And I also have this Patrick Ta blush. This one's a duo, so it has the cream up here and then the blush. I think I'm gonna go in with the Rare Beauty one and then the Patrick Ta one on top. I just dip it in. It's literally so easy. This packaging makes it so simple to use. It does look super pigmented, and it honestly really is, but just lightly tap just to place the product down. You don't have to blend it all the way, just place the product down. And then go on the other side. And then it'll be less product on the blush so you could easily diffuse it. Less product on the brush so you can easily diffuse it. And then go back to the other side and start blending that out once the product is less concentrated on the brush. Every single time I do my makeup, I'm always acting like I'm giving a tutorial. So I always say it in my head like, okay, and then next I'm gonna do this, and then this is what I do, here's a little tip for this. But now that I'm actually saying it out loud, like for this YouTube video, it is actually so hard. Like I'm literally getting everything tongue-tied. Like, oh my god. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to fix that. And then I'll tap it just one more time, and I like to also like dab it onto my hand, or just to get like the excess off so it's a little bit less concentrated. And then I'll put it on my nose. All the cream products are on. You could definitely also go back in with this and apply it on top right here. I personally do not like too much glow, so I honestly don't even use highlighter. I don't use cream highlighter. I don't use powder highlighter over top, because I find that it accentuates the parts of my face that I don't want it to. Because if it's too glittery, it could just look like straight glitter on your cheek. Or even if it's like too grainy, it could really make your pores stand out more. So next to set the face, I like to use two powders. I will use the Beauty Bakery Flower Powder and then the Too Faced Peach Perfect Powder. This one I use under my eyes, but if I know that I want my makeup to last really, really long, this Too Faced Peach Perfect Powder is perfect. I have been using this forever now. Casey Holmes, she's a YouTuber, she put me onto this powder because she also has oily skin. And I find that honestly there's not a lot of YouTubers that have oily skin. Like they all have dry skin or normal skin. So she is one that I always go to. So if you have oily skin, definitely watch her because she knows what to use and she loves full coverage. And you can see that it is slightly tinted. It's not super white. This helps to really blend out all your makeup and to make it super seamless. This one, for example, is more translucent and more white toned. So that one I like to use under my eyes to make my under eyes more bright. I use another beauty blender. This one I keep dry and I only use for my powders. I think I just got this one in like a set from Marshalls or something. I will dip it into the powder just like this, and then if it's too much, then I'll go into the lid and I'll just dab it into there just to get like kind of the excess off. One tip that I literally have used for years now, because you can notice I have these creases under my eye, and everybody has creases naturally. In order to avoid like the creases coming out after a while, I like to go under my eye and just tap them out. Literally only takes like a few seconds, and then immediately after I will go and set my concealer. So then I will go back in and then set it more. And I absolutely love this powder because I've used powders before where they're translucent just like this one, but as soon as I set them, it kind of can make my under eyes darker. It can make my under eye bags come out more. You can see it definitely, the brightness is kind of toned down a little bit more because it's not as glowy, but it's definitely still bright under my eye. So then I go in with the other side and tap out the creases. And I promise you, this will 100% work. As long as you set your under eyes with powder immediately after you tap out the creases under your eyes, you will not have creasing for hours. This is another thing I like to do. I just like to go alongside the bridge of my nose with powder. So I'll just let it sit there, just let it bake. And then I like to go in with my other powder. And I use the same beauty blender. So I'll start right here, and then I'll go up here, and then I'll go up here. I like to kind of avoid this area because I don't want to get rid of that bronzer and blush duo, because I'm going to be setting that with powder, bronzer, and powder blush anyways. And honestly, usually I do my brows before I do my whole face, but I just always forget. I'm just going to have to do those after, which is a little bit more messy, but whatever. Okay, so after that, then I'll go in with my powder bronzer. I have been using this forever. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I like to dab my bronzer. Just how I dab my cream bronzer, I like to do the same for my powder bronzer. So I dab it first, because you're still gonna need to set this area. It's still kind of tacky from the cream. So you dab it on first just to set it, just how you would do with regular powder. And then I'll go in again, and then I'll go into circular motions more upward. And then I'll dab it into the temples right here, just what I mentioned I like to put more focus on. Apply some on the bottom of my nose right here. And then I'll go into the sides of my nose. And I like to put focus right here where this eyebrow meets the bridge of the nose, because that makes your nose more narrow from the top. You can just go back in with your powder and clean it up a little bit more and let it sit there for a little bit longer. You can apply some on top. But next, I'm gonna go in and do my brows. Usually I do this before I do my whole face because I find that it's a little bit more easier and I can make my eyebrows a little bit more precise with concealer underneath and everything. But I forgot. This is the first product I use. This is a Nyx Brow Glue. So first, I'll just comb it through just to get the product down. They recently came out with a new one and I heard it's a lot better. So I need to go try it. I went to go to Ulta and try to find it, but they didn't have it, so I need to go again. So I just like to set it down, and then I'll get another spoolie. You can use any spoolie. And after a while, you let it sit and it'll get kind of like hard and tacky. So then you just wipe up. You swipe upward to the desired shape that you want. So I'll swipe up and then I'll angle it outward. Up and outward. This one's honestly not the best. I've been looking for a better one because after like an hour or two, my eyebrows do tend to fall. Like they don't stay super like tacky and lifted. And then next I'll go in with the NYX Lift and Snatch Eyebrow. This one is kind of hard to use if you're a beginner. So if you're a beginner, I recommend the Makeup Revolution eyebrow pencil. That one's really good and it's really super thin. But I like to use this one because it can be a little bit more precise. So first I'll just make hairline strokes in the middle of my brow and then go outward. You just have to be super, super careful because it's literally like an eyeliner. Like you're putting eyeliner on your eyebrows. Just like that. And it looks super crazy, I know. But then you just go back in with your spoolie and you brush it out one more time. And this will kind of diffuse it a little bit. And as you can tell, right here, it's a little bit empty. So I'll go in with the Makeup Revolution pencil. You can see it's super, super thin. And then I'll draw just a little bit into there. Just like that. You can see it's a little bit lighter compared to the pen. This one's honestly my bad eyebrow. I can never make them look the same. This one's my good eyebrow. But this one, she's like the evil stepsister that didn't get enough attention. Next, we're gonna go into eyeshadow. I honestly do not use eyeshadow on the daily, but if you do want to start getting into eyeshadow and you don't know where to start, definitely begin with these e.l.f. Shadow Quads. This one's in the shade Truffle. This one's in Cream and Sugar. And I like that it comes with just like the basic shades. You're not overwhelmed with anything. I'm gonna go in with the light shade and just put that all over my crease. I'm not too particular about where this one's gonna go because it's just a regular shade. It's kind of gonna blend into your skin tone to set that concealer a little bit more. And then I like to take the other one and go in with this shade right here. Taking the same brush, and I like to tap it off. And applying that into the crease. A little bit more concentrated right here. Right here in this area. Next, I will go in with a smaller condensed brush and go in with the deeper shade right here. And remember to tap it off. That's key because you do not want too much product. So I'm just going to go in to that same spot I was just in. But just make it a little bit more deeper. And if you feel like it's a little bit too dark, it's okay. You could go back in with the regular brush that you were just using to blend out the other shades. You don't need any more product on it and just fluff it out. You can be as messy as you want when you're just like overall blending in. So you can see that makes it a little bit more seamless. My lighting is going away. It's getting just a little bit darker. That's all I do just to add some definition to my eyes. If you want, you can add one of the shimmer shades. This is my favorite eyeliner. This is a ColourPop liquid liner, and I like mine in the shade LA. I think that's the shade. It's in the shade Grande. Oopsies. So I shake it a little bit, and then I'll go into the inner corner right here. Just like that. And I know you can see like it's really big out here, but once you put the lashes on, it's gonna make everything come together. I'm gonna try out these new lashes that I saw at Ulta. They're the Ardell Light as Air lashes. They're supposed to be just lighter than your regular eyelashes. This is the lash glue that I'm using right now, but the Duo eyelash glue, the green bottle one, is also really good. These definitely look a lot lighter. If you can tell, the band on this one is a lot smaller than the band on this eyelash. While the eyelash glue is drying, I like to go in with my mascara. This is the one that I'm using. I've only used it like once. Honestly, I don't have a go-to mascara just because I used to have eyelash extensions for like a year. And then before that, I had them for like 2 years, but then I took a break from them. So I honestly am not that used to wearing mascara, but my eyelashes are long. Like you could see like they're long, but they do not curl. And I like to let my eyelashes set for a while, like maybe like a minute, minute and a half, so they could get tacky. Because if you put your eyelashes on as soon as you apply the glue, they're gonna be slipping and sliding everywhere. This lighting is literally not it. Like it's going away, but it's okay because we're almost done. And also, I just remembered that I didn't even put on my powder blush. How did I forget that? I'm gonna go in with the Patrick Tall one, the powder one. I like to bring it more up. That's my key for blush. I like to put it a lot higher, more concentrated right there versus right here. Because if I put it right here, it's kind of gonna drag my face down to the center, but I want to bring my face more up. And I like to tap this one too, just to make it more concentrated and a little bit more seamless, so it's not super blotchy. That literally made a huge difference. I knew I was missing something. Some on my nose. So for lips, I go in with this. I'm literally almost done with it. This is a NYX lip pencil in Nutmeg. Yes, Nutmeg. I don't know why I shook it. Like, babe, what was I doing? Anyway, so I'm gonna go in with the NYX lip cream. Is that what they're called? Soft matte lip cream in the shade London. And then just apply that all over. This shade, so pretty. Before we can finish, I almost forgot. I use the Milani Make It Last setting spray. This is so good. It's honestly a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury one. So this is the final look, and I also added a little bit more lip liner to make it more dark, and I put a little bit more brow gel because, as I said, they were already falling, so I definitely do not recommend that brow gel. And I added a little bit more brown eyeliner just to make my eyes a little bit more dramatic. So definitely, if you want to elevate your makeup look and your makeup game, I would say definitely try experimenting with the brighter under eye. Try with an illuminator before your foundation, because as you can see, my skin is definitely still like glowy even though I do have a lot of powder over it. And definitely cream blush, because this cream blush is so pretty. The Rare Beauty one, definitely worth the money, even though it's not too expensive, but it's definitely worth it. If you want to step up your lasting power of your makeup, definitely go for that Too Faced Peach Perfect powder and set all over your face. And definitely try the Milani Make It Last setting spray. That will make your makeup last forever.